We've got a massive Champions League game today, but luckily, loads of important first-team players are injured, so it's going to stay interesting. Hello and welcome to Season 14, Episode 4 of Non-League to Legend. I'm Kev, and coming up on today's episode, we have a home game in the league against Brentford, but who cares about that? The important one is our final Champions League group game against Milan, and the Champions League group is finally poised at the moment. We've had some odd Champions League form. In fact, we'll have a look back through all the form while we're here. Why not? So I think the last time you were with me was for the Brighton and Villa game. So we stuffed Brighton in the league, but then lost to Villa in the Capital One Cup. But no one cared because it's only the Capital One Cup. Just checking my microphone's on. Don't want to repeat that again. So obviously we had the disappointment of the Olympiacos game, but then we went away. We played Olympiacos at home and beat them 3-0. Which put us top of our Champions League group with 2 games to go. But then we had to go away to Bayern Munich and we lost 6-1. We got absolutely thumped by them, which means going into this final game at home against Milan, we're third place on 7 points. Obviously, if we beat Milan, we go above them. Anything other than a Milan victory, a victory against Milan, and we're probably going to have to settle for the Europa League. Obviously, Olympiacos might do us a favour and beat Bayern Munich, which would then mean a draw against Milan would be enough. And no, it wouldn't, would it? No, it wouldn't. We actually have to beat Milan, regardless of what happens. Olympiacos could beat Bayern, and then we wouldn't even potentially make it into the Europa League, which would be a complete disaster. So that's kind of important. In the Premier League, form has been pretty good since you were last with me. We beat Sheffield Wednesday 4-1. We beat Norwich 3-2. Newcastle 2-1. Remember, Newcastle are another Champions League club, so that was a big, important game. Lazio has suddenly hit some fantastic form. He's our captain at the moment. Why is he our captain, I hear you ask? He's our captain because we've picked up some injuries to some rather important players. Matt Lee is out injured. He has, what's he done? He's got a dislocated shoulder. He was out for 2 months. He's still got 5 or 6 weeks of that left. So Ivan Stanek is in goal, which is kind of why we conceded 6 goals against Bayern. He did not have a very good game. Lazarov is also injured. He's picked up a back strain away on international duty. So he's going to be out for at least another couple of weeks. He's already had a couple of weeks out. Backup right back Fritscher is injured as well. He's going to be back to fitness in a couple of days' time. Johnny Vaughan is still not fit. He's back in training, but not going to be fit again until nearly January when the transfer window opens. And backup attacking midfielder Luca Clemenza is also injured. So Mesidoro and Nuri are fighting it out for that trequartista role. All of which isn't great, is it really? The one thing that is a positive is because we've had quite a nice run of Premier League games, we've climbed the table. If we look at look at that. That's proper climbing the table. We're in good form, but it's because we're having some fairly easy games. So we're up to 12th place. We're 7 points behind Manchester United, who are top of the league. So in actual fact, the title is still an outside possibility, but we would have to go on an incredible run of form from here on in. And obviously anything other than a win against relegation battling Brentford today would be a complete disaster. Brentford are managed by current posh real-life boss Graham Wesley as well, who apparently is my nemesis because we've been having a war of words in the media all week. Probably didn't like the fact that every time he looked like he was about to get sacked from Posh, I would declare interest. Even when I was back at Exeter, I was doing that. So probably has a little bit of beef with me. So the team that we're playing against Brentford today, the temptation to rest some players to keep them ready for Milan is there, but I'm trying not to succumb to it, purely because at this point, the league is looking more realistic than progress in the Champions League, because beating Milan is going to be a tall order. So in goal, we've got Stanek, and we've got no backup keeper either. We have no other goalkeepers at the club. Probably should have signed another goalkeeper when we let Garrett go in the summer. It's not even an option for us to do that at the moment either, because the other piece of news, where is it? It's somewhere down here. Takeover, basically, is imminent. I can't actually find the news story, but there we go. Consortium targets Ipswich Town takeover. Hopefully they're a rich consortium, because this could be a game changer. This could be something that keeps me at Ipswich beyond the end of this season. If somebody comes in and throws a load of money at the club and means that we actually have some money to compete in transfers again. But what it means in the short term is we're under transfer embargo. So if this isn't wrapped up within a month, we're going to go into January not being able to do any business, which was the same situation we were in the summer when we couldn't do any business because we didn't have any money. The finances are still drifting lower and lower all the time. Projections are not looking good at all. So we kind of need a takeover, and we need them to be a bit of a sugar daddy. So Stanek in goal, Giuliani, Zabala, Dane and Walker-Peters at the back with Bazoa in front of them. And then we've got Chris and Yusuf in midfield with Mesudaro in behind Lacio and Fall. They're the two form strikers at the moment, although really all three of our proper strikers are in good form. So Aaron can come in for either of them against Milan once he's had a bit of a rest today, assuming they can all stay fit. So if everything goes to plan, we have a comfortable victory against Brentford. The problem is we were officially favourites to beat Bayern Munich, and obviously that didn't turn out too great. With Stanek in goal, it's pretty much a case of team instructions for Brentford should be shoot from anywhere, because Stanek's probably not looking. So we kind of just have to go into this and score a lot of goals. And hope that we concede fewer than we score. It worked against Newcastle, and in actual fact, we were 2-0 up fairly early on and managed to just hold on. We had one Stanek howler, but because we got that early lead, last 20 minutes or so, we played our trademark flat back five with a man in front, and seemed to work quite well. Right, Fall has a chance here to Giuliani. Mesudaro straight at their goalkeeper, though. Walker-Peters has requested a transfer as well because he's not getting any game time because obviously Giuliani came in. Same thing that forced Will Leach out of the club on loan. He's at Newcastle. Walker-Peters, I mean, that's why he's on the transfer list because that was absolute nonsense. He might decide to change his mind though. Now he's going to get a run of games with Lazarov and Fritzsche both injured. We did originally sign him, 3-4 seasons ago as a backup right back. So he's finally getting to do that job after 3 seasons of being our first choice left back. But, you know, I think he's actually right-footed as well. We were playing him out of position at left-back all that time, and we're lucky there because Stanek probably didn't notice that there was a shot coming towards him. I can't believe we paid £5 million for him. I still think back to Milani, who's at Villa now, thinking of all the young goalkeepers we had. Why didn't we keep that one? Modu Fall's just scored, by the way. It's only his 7th goal of the season. Don't be alarmed. Remember, he was injured for the first couple of months of the season. So he's playing catch-up and scoring lots of goals, which is fine by me. So Lacio slots the ball through to him, and you don't leave Fall in that much space in the area because he'll do that, and he's very good at it. And look, he's so happy. Look at him having a little run around with his arms out, pretending to be an aeroplane. It's the kind of emotion scoring a goal in the Premier League brings out in a man. Right. They're going to score here, aren't they? Zabala with the header clear. Bazoa comes in to make the challenge. I'm a bit down on him at the moment because, look at that from Modu Fall. We played Bazoa at centre-back against Munich, and it didn't really work out for us. But we had to rest one of our centre-backs because both Dane and Zabala were just exhausted. So we rested Dane. Really shouldn't have done. I mean, look at that goal from Modu Fall. No right at all to score from there. But he doesn't care. He doesn't respect the rules of physics. He just scores lots of goals. Right. Well played, Roy Keane. You've managed to switch off Mesudaro and Fall. I'm glad I brought this man in because of his motivational skills. The amount of times he does that, though, I think he's going to get sacked. I think if the new board keep me on, I might have a word in their ear and say, look, can you make it one of your conditions that you want rid of Roy Keane? Because then I can sack him. Well, you can sack him, and I don't risk him thumping me for doing it. Because I'm a little bit afraid of him. Don't know if he's got the beard going on at the moment, but I suspect he hasn't, and he's more threatening without it, I think. Always trust a man with a beard, but it's always a bit suspect when a bearded man decides to have a shave. I mean, what's his game plan? Zabala's just scored. That doesn't happen very often. Zabala has the worst hair in Football Manager as well. It's just kind of... any wrestling fans out there, he's going for the Dean Ambrose look. See, I know wrestling, honest. I know who Dean Ambrose is. That's about it. And he looks like Carlos Zabala. Have you ever seen the two of them together? I certainly haven't. Right, well, this is going to plan now. So with 25 minutes left, it's probably time to rest some players ahead of the big game. So Bosmans is going to come on for Zabala because Zabala is tired and hasn't had a rest lately. And then we might take Chris off as well and give Negra a bit of game time. He's kind of been my first reserve just lately. I quite like Mallory Negra. I mean, he's kind of pushing Valverde and Vosabelt down the selection order by forcing his way into the team, but I quite like him. Right, Bazoa, you can come off now. You can come. We'll bring Elistondo on. I still haven't decided which one of those two is my first choice holding midfielder. Long term, it's going to be Elistondo because he's 4 years younger. But I keep thinking, well, I'm paying Bazoa £165,000 a week. I've got to fit him in the team somewhere. I mean, that was behind Stanek. I want to see that in 3D. That was ridiculous. The ball went past him and he just seemed to stick his hand up and clutch it from behind him, which worked, I guess. Unconventional when it's just a lumped ball forward that you have to catch. The man terrifies me. Right. Go on, let's have one more goal. Round things off nicely. Fall could do with a hat-trick. That would be nice going into the Milan game. It's not going to happen, is it? 3-0. 3-0 is fine. It keeps us 4th place in the league. He's just switched off everybody there. What are you doing, Roy? So nicely in the Champions League spots, which is the important thing. I mean, really, a club the size of Ipswich, target should be Champions League finishes. I know I want to win the league, and it's probably the only thing that will convince me to stay at the end of the season. But thinking of the long-term future of the club, Champions League, that's what we've got to be doing each year. Right, let's go and play Milan. So we have a bit of a fullback problem for this game because Guiliani is suspended. Luckily, Fritzsche is fit-ish again. He's not close to match fit, but he can come in at right back with Walker Peters moving over to left back. Other than that, the only other change is Arendt in for Fall, purely for fitness. I mean, they're all in such good form. Look at the ratings for the last 5 games. Arendt 7.74, Larsio 8.26, Fall 7.98. There's no picking between the 3 of them at the moment, so I've just gone for the 2 that are fittest and will bring Fall on as and when we need him. We drew away at Milan. We need to win today. And we're playing 2 backup fullbacks and a backup goalkeeper. So, what are you going to do? Why are you questioning what strikers I'm playing? You know why we're doing it. I just explained that. We're officially favourites for this game, but we were favourites against Bayern Munich. And I don't really trust the bookmakers. You could make a killing living in this world. In the future, gamble on football a lot because Milan are 3-1 for this game, and you've got to like the look of that, really. I'd be tempted if it wouldn't land me up being banned from football forever. Right, we've just got to win. I'm as nervous about this as I've been in any of the cup finals we've played in, and I don't really know why, because all we're doing is trying to win a game that allows us to get a little bit further in a competition we will get knocked out of. We've got no chance of winning the Champions League, but I don't want to get knocked out in the group stage. I want to be making progress each season. We made it to the quarter-final last year, so let's make it at least to the quarter-final again. But then we had a bit of a fluky run. We had an easy-ish group. I mean, this is absolutely the group of death this year, and we ruined it for ourselves when we lost against Olympiacos. I mean, that's where we've gone wrong. When we look back on this campaign, we beat Bayern Munich at home, and we drew away in Milan. The one time we messed up was when we went away to Olympiacos and lost. And because of that, we've put ourselves in this difficult situation today where when we pick up some injuries, we've now got to beat Milan, who, until that last game against Bayern Munich, I would say Milan have been the best team in the group. They're certainly the best team we've played against. We got mugged against Olympiacos, and we know we can do well against Bayern Munich, but Milan can do that. And they're just better than we are. Oh dear. I think our Champions League dream for this season is over, and it's over far too soon. It's only episode 4. It's still November. We can't be getting knocked out of the Champions League already. This isn't going to get me the Barcelona job in the summer, is it? Right, come on, we need one of those special European nights that became our trademark when we had our run in the Europa League and won it a couple of seasons ago. Second halves, second legs. We're still in the group stage, but it's like a second leg, isn't it? We just got to go out and get 4 goals in the second half. We got good at doing that in the Europa League. Can we do it in this? We know we can score goals in this competition. We did it against Bayern Munich. Walker Peters needs to not get himself sent off. Not just because we'll be down to 10 men, but because we have no more fullbacks at the football club. And, that's it. If only Matt Lee had been in goal. If only Lazarov and Guiliani had been available. If only. I mean, this all comes... And I'm going to blame this directly on the board. Ipswich Town Board of Directors, if you are watching this video, which you should be, this is your fault for not giving me any money in the summer to go and buy a backup goalkeeper. I told you I needed one. You told me that I shouldn't have wasted all that money on reserve midfield players on 4-year pay when you can deals. Well, you shouldn't let me have the money. We needed a goalkeeper, and this is your fault. We've got Ivan Stanek in goal. Yeah, remember him? Yes, I know we spent £5 million on him, but you let me. You know I can't. You know I'm rubbish at goalkeepers, but we could have brought in a better one than him. We may as well have Mika in goal. Right. What on earth can the plan possibly be from here? We need to score at least 3 goals in the second half, probably more, because Milan haven't stopped scoring yet. They just have to kick the ball loosely into our half, and Stanek's going to usher it into his own net. Oh, it's been a long time since I've had a scapegoat goalkeeper. I am enjoying it again. But at the same time, don't just stop conceding goals. I'll scapegoat you again at the weekend. We're playing Man United away in the league at the weekend. Why are we getting all these big games when we've got no players fit? Oh dear. Season falling apart in front of your eyes. And it's all the board's fault. Good riddance to your board. Where's my new chairman? I don't care if he wants to keep me or not. This club needs a new chairman. You screwed me over with Joshua Emanuel all those years ago, and you've screwed me over again this summer. Oh, Lacio's just scored. I mean, he's in incredible form. Look at that man's hair. Will you look at it? And he is in good form. Little flick on from Aaron. Cross comes in from, was that Fritzscher, I guess? And Lacio, I mean, he's playing like a poacher. He doesn't do that. Lacio scores headers or spectacular long-range efforts. I've never seen him score a tap-in off a rebound before. But, you know, he's enjoying being the captain. He wants to win. Come on, let's get another one here. Let's make the last 20 minutes interesting. Right, Aaron. What can you do, Christian Aaron? Nothing at all. Why didn't you shoot? You're better than that. Right, where's Modu Full? Get him out, warming up now. Where's Roy Keane? Why isn't Full warming up? Right, let's bring Modu Full on. Give him 25 minutes. Come on, son. Here we go. Have we got anyone we can bring on for Mesidoro? We really don't. In fact, forget that change. We're going to keep Aaron on. I'm going to do this. And we're going to play the 3 of them together. Why not? And then we're going to bring Anastondo on for Bazawa, because Bazawa just is past it. Does anyone want to buy out a 3-year contract on an old player who we shouldn't have signed? No? Some might argue I could have got a goalkeeper with the money I spent on him. I would disagree, obviously, and still blame the board. But some might offer that counter-argument up if it reached a court of law. Which it might if the board are watching this video, which they should be. Oh dear. Nothing at all is happening. Right, do we go 3 up front? Do we just push Lacio up in between? Let's do it. What's the worst that can happen? Let's just push him up between the 2 of them. Make Aaron an advance forward. We're going to push Elastondo up as well. And we're just going to do that. I mean, we're leaving ourselves massively open at the back. But we need 2 goals at least. Come on, lads. Who have we got on the bench? We haven't really got a game-changing player on the bench either. That's a big issue with our squad when it's so depleted. I mean, Alessandro's... I can't take him off. We'll take Chris off, I think. We're going to bring... You know what? In a big game, I just feel like Franco Valverde should be the man. He just has that little habit of just popping up with a goal when we need one. And he would normally be my 3rd choice substitution there. Vossabout and Negra would both be ahead of him, but I just have a feeling about Franco Valverde today. Go on, pop up, header from a corner or something in the last minute. After we've already scored one, obviously, because one last minute equaliser isn't going to be enough. And nothing is going to be enough now. We've not left ourselves enough time. We are out of the Champions League. We have a Europa League campaign to look forward to. Well, the only time we've played in that, we won it. So we're going into that. I'd like to think as one of the favourites to go on and win the competition, so that could be quite fun. I'm sad now. I mean, when the draw happened, we called it back then. It was a hard group to get out of, but it still hurts all the same. We've been knocked out of the Champions League. Europa League, here we come. If you enjoyed today's episode, make sure you pop a like on there for me, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on a really exciting season of Thursday night football. And thank you very much for watching.